Ya, salam sepudu sepuro memacu kecemerlangan. Salam menjulang pendidikan negeri Sarawak di persada antarabangsa melalui seminar yang kita hadiri pada hari ini. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sidang hadirin yang dihormati, dengan izin menggunakan bahasa Inggris. A very good day, ladies and gentlemen, fellow presenters from inside the country and abroad. It's my great pleasure to be with you today to share one of my interventions in the teaching of English language to the rural children in Sarawak, particularly at SK Mendas Sarato under the Sarato PPD. Ladies and gentlemen, teachers' short videos, the impactful tool for the teaching of speaking to struggling English language learners. I repeat, teachers' short videos, the impactful tool for the teaching of speaking to the struggling English language learners. So as for today, I will be moving from the introduction, where I will introduce the background of my students and the issues that I face. And also in the methodology, I will be sharing on the intervention, on how I plan for it, how I go about it, and how I measure the performance of my students. And also for the finding, I will be presenting on the outcomes of the intervention. And for the summary, we will be talking about the future plan. Struggling English language learners, the pictures that I take today is not the pictures of my English students or students, but I put it here just to give us a brief idea of what struggling English language learners really is. So from this picture, I hope that we can imagine how difficult it is for our students to learn the English language and what are the factors that we face all this while. First, they have very limited access to English language materials. Yeah, in our class, at a school, we, the teachers, are the only source for the learning of English language. And maybe they have some books at the ICT room or at our Learning Access Center, but no YouTube because they stay at a place where the internet connectivity is very low. And this leads to the level of English language proficiency, which is very low at my school. So now let's talk about the issue that I face. In early 2021, when we continued to have our home-based learning, or we call it PDPR. So as you can see from this data, out of the 6 students that I had in year 4, 3 did not respond at all to the speaking task that I assigned them along the month of April. As for the grammar lesson, as for the reading lesson, yes, I delivered this called worksheets. And yes, I did receive the feedback, but not for speaking class, when I asked them to record themselves and to make a video about themselves. And the next issue is, from the 3 students who had submitted their work, I can see that they have this pronunciation problem, whereby out of the 5 words said, 1 must be an error. And the issue of fluency, which I measured using the number of self-correction, the number of posing, and the repetition, and also the intonation. So in this case, we teachers, I myself, become a struggling teacher. I struggle to think of how to involve my students in my lesson. And then I asked the students, I gave a call to the parents, asked why. For the 3 students who didn't pass up or didn't submit their videos, I asked the parents why. And they told me that we don't know how to do. And we do not know what to say. And one student said, I have no handphone, teacher. I have no smartphone to record myself. And as for the students who have this low proficiency, the 3 of them told me that we do not know how to say it properly, teacher, but we tried our best. So from the response I got from the parents, I reflect my own instruction. Then I realized that I only instructed them to, you read page 18, and from the text, you record yourself. Tell me, what housework do you have to do at home? That kind of instruction. And then after this self-reflection, I realized that as a teacher, I did not give enough input of how to talk and what to talk about. And then I did not really see into the students' readiness of using the digital media. As what mentioned by the keynote speaker just now, Dr. Nguyen, this readiness factor is very important, but I didn't look at it at first. And inadequate support of how to make a video. I thought that the students already know, but it was wrong. So ladies and gentlemen, then I begin to think of what to do. And at this point, I realized that short video can play a good role in making my students involving in my speaking lesson, as what it did in the previous year, in 2022, when I produced videos for them to study grammar and pronunciation. These videos has brought great impact to their motivation to learn and also their performance. Then I started with the planning. I planned about the content of the video, what kind of video that I should send to my students. So here are the criteria, as you can see. The first factor that I focus on was the feasibility. It talks about how easily is the material to be used, how convenient to use it. So to answer to these criteria, I make sure that I use the textbook. We call it textbook, the CEFR reference book. I take all the materials from there and I bring it into the video because I know that all students have the book. And then in terms of the duration, because the students told me that their handphone had not enough data. So I make sure that the duration of the video is not too long. The most is 3 minutes, but most of them are low, below 3 minutes. And the most important criteria in the video is me, myself, appear in the video, teaching the students, as what requested by the parents. Because some of the parents told me that my children just didn't want to learn when they didn't see their teachers, something like that. So I put myself in, okay? And for the planning stage, I put 3 objectives. 2 focusing on the students, is to engage 5 pupils in my speaking lesson. Why not 6? Because one of the students was not ready. no gadget, and she stayed with the grandmas and grandpas who are illiterate, technologically illiterate. And the next one is to improve my pupils' speaking proficiency. And the third one, which to me is very important, is to build up teachers' digital skills, as mentioned in our theme, to upgrade our teachers' skills in working in the new normal. And the indicators for the first one is my students' response to the speaking task and the pupil's speaking performance level, and also my ability to produce short videos as a tool for learning. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see this. This video is recorded based on learning skills in 2.1.1 from our DSKP to encourage students to explain simple content on familiar topics from what they read and what they hear.
Hi children! Today we talk about housework. Yeah, housework. So the question is, what housework do you have to do at home? What housework do you have to do at home? So you can find the question on page 18 of your student's book if you are in your book. Now, before we proceed, let's look at these activities that you might have to do at home. For example, at the kitchen, you have to set the table for lunch. Or maybe clear the table after lunch. Or do the washing up. Or in the evening, you have to clean the fish. Or pick up the rubbish. Or spread the leaves. Or maybe shovel the snow. There are many other activities that you can do. Okay? So now, how to talk about it? Here I give you 3 key phrases. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Well, you can start your sentence with, in the morning, I have to make up my bed. Or, in the afternoon, I have to set up the table for lunch. And in the evening, I have to feed the fish. So now, what is your task? Your task is to take a photo of you doing the housework, and then you send to me 1 picture a day for 5 days. Is that right? By doing that, you can learn to be responsible. How to be responsible? By helping out with the housework. Okay? Very good.
Yeah. So, excuse me. The design of this video is based on the elements in speaking skill, which includes vocabulary. We give input in terms of vocabulary. The second one is the grammar, when we teach the key phrases from the textbook in the morning, in the afternoon, and then the repetition of the key phrases. And the pronunciation comes along with the video, and also the fluency. The more they watch, because we encourage the students to watch the video on and on and on and on until they could get the main things that we try to present. And here is the example from one of my pupils.
Hi friend! Today we talk about housework. Housework. So the question is, what housework do you have to do at home? So you can find the question on page 18. you might do at home. For example, at the kitchen, you have to set the table for lunch or clean the table after lunch or maybe do the washing up or in the evening you have to feed fish or take out the rubbish or rake the leaves or maybe shovel the snow. There are other activities that we can do. Okay, so now how to talk about it. Here I give you three tips. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Well, you can start your sentences with in the morning, I have to make up my bed. Or in the afternoon, I have to set the table for lunch. And in the evening, I have to sleep.
Yeah. And as you can see, the yellow words, the words in yellow, that is the feedback that I give to the students. After the student has sent the video, I will edit the video and highlighted the wrong pronunciation, and then I send it back to the students for them to see. And then I told the student, after you have done the correction, I will bring you to T4. T4 means good. TP3 means satisfactory. So I tell the students about where to go and what was the mistake and how to do the correction about it. And imitate teacher style. Why? It is for the breakthrough process so that we can see the, how do you call it? The pronunciation, yeah? The main activity for speaking is actually on week 2. In week 2, for the second task, it is speaking about the housework using the key phrases learned. So here comes the observation after we have finished the 7 tasks around this intervention. Have the objectives been achieved? Yes. Because now each pupil has at least submitted 4 out of 7 tasks. Compared to the previous one, 3 did not submit at all. And the second objective, has the speaking proficiency been upgraded? Yes. In terms of vocabulary, in terms of grammar, in terms of pronunciation, and also the fluency. Now let us look at this to speak more about the students' performance from the perspective of the CEFR for primary school. We look into the A1. What is A1? What is A2? Actually, for the primary school, our target is to go to A2 before they leave for secondary school. Yeah, the B1 and B2, which is the intermediate level, is for the secondary teacher. So let us look at this. These are their new speaking levels. 2 pupils are now at TP2 and 1 pupil at TP3. These 3 are the ones who did not respond at all at the beginning. And for the 2 pupils, and the one who got TP3 is the one who involved from the beginning, but still stuck at TP3, satisfactory level. And 2 of them, one is in level 4 and one is at TP5. Okay, we call it elementary in CFR. And what is the beginner? Beginner and elementary is the basic English. They are able to use basic English. So more insight about this CFR. So why I give A1 or TP1 and TP2? They can ask questions and they can interact with others if they speak slowly. Speak slowly, they can interact. And then A2, elementary, they can talk They can talk using frequently used expressions. How are you? So conveniently. Okay, they can talk about the housework so conveniently. Today I do this, yesterday I did this, something like that. At ease, with minimum guidance. And the third, have the teacher's digital skills been built up? Exactly, yes. Yeah. From never knew how to edit a video, I learned to edit a video. I learned to put animation. And then I learned to share it in YouTube. I learned to cut, to paste, learn to put music, learn to put some pictures in the presentation. And I also teach the parents how to reduce, how to clean up their data so that my video could go into their phone and everything about it, the basic things, yes. It has been upgraded. And for reflection, what's next? Lesson study. I got the idea about this lesson study when one of my mentors, this Madam Katarina Steven, came back from these walls. It is an international seminar on lesson study. She was so excited. She was contacting me through WhatsApp, telling me about what happened at WALS, about lesson study, lesson study. All this while, I was only be familiar with lesson study among teachers. But this time, it is about students. So, as for the coming lesson, to upgrade my students' level of proficiency, to make them confident speakers, I plan for a lesson study based on the SKP 2.1.1. Based on the videos that I make, I want them to choose their own topics to talk about, and they use the videos as the reference, and they plan for their own lessons, and they produce their own videos. Yesterday, our keynote speaker, Miss Pia, told us about this lesson study. I was so excited, and I got 1 point from her. She told us like this: it's okay to make mistake, because take the error or the mistake as a tool for learning. All right, so it's okay if the students make mistake so that they can learn. So this is the material that I am doing right now to go for the next intervention. This is a kind of role play. Okay, I have to stop it here because time is so jealous of us. And I have tried this with my students on how to communicate in a small group. This is what happened in the classroom.
What do you think it is? And how many legs has it got? Maybe it's a man. No, but she almost there. No, it's herbivore. What color is it? White. It sounds like purple.
Yeah, this is what happened in the classroom. I think from the video, teachers, we all can see which one is in TP4, TP3, TP2, yeah? And we use this video, we show the video to them and let them reflect on their own performance and let them improve themselves based on their performance. Yeah? What is this? Yeah. Yesterday, one of our friends, Cikgu Nur Hidayah, our guru pemulihan, mentioned that jika murid tidak dapat belajar dengan cara kita mengajar, biarlah kita mengajar mereka dengan cara mereka boleh belajar. Lebih kurang seperti itu. And yes, I always believe in that quote, even though I do not know who said it first. If the students can't learn the way we teach, let us teach the way they learn. And to end my presentation, my sharing, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Congratulations, dear fellow presenters. Thank you very much.